So again, thank you all for coming. This is marked as a workshop, but the thing is way too more complex to be a workshop though, so this is actually going to be a talk. A talk about all of our right to repair our own stuff. And I start with a disclaimer. It's not an EU, but it is a disclaimer. So I may explain some stuff that I usually do based on years of experience. It doesn't mean that you can do it, or if you should even follow anything that I say. So if you try to fix something and break it, you get to keep all the pieces. So this is roughly what I'm going to talk about. The ROHS stands for Reduction of Hazardous Substances, which is a very long name, which means that some things are bad for us and for the environment, and they decided to stop using it. Okay, so most of the people here know me. I'm over 50 years old, and I have a background in electronics. And for a living, I do test automation, which is not a sexy subject at all. And if anyone has something which is not working, I will at least try to fix it with various degrees of success. For example, for MacBooks, it's about 33% that I can make it work again. Most of them are way past whatever you can do with it. So this is one of the things. It's not my phrase, but it means if you can't repair the stuff that you bought, you don't own it. You can say that you have leased it. Okay, you made a lease, and then sometime in the future you have to pay something, some money to some company, or even throw it away, which is one of the things that I really don't like. That is happening. So, the guys that know me know my opinion about those fruity products, which you can see all around here. It's not about them. I have way too many things to say in favor and against them. But I encourage you to do two things. Go check the boing boing tag for right to repair. They are most, and also I fix it. They are what you can say the political army of repair, the repair movement. So they try to talk to governments and introduce bills and try as much as they can to at least raise awareness. That's what I'm actually doing here today. So to explain to you that you really can do something about this. So, and iFixit is one of the sponsors, but not really sponsored. I asked them, I'm going to give a talk about right to repair. Can you send me some stickers and some manifests? And they send me this. Okay, so they send me a lot of stuff. They only ask, what's your address? That was it. And then 2 weeks later, everything was here. So, I'm enumerating 4 devices that I fixed in the last 8 months or so. And the only thing that these products have in common is not the Apple brand. The thing they have in common is that they were victims of this new directive from the European government and also internationally. So these 2 equipments, the iMac, when someone on a mailing list say, well, I have this 27-inch iMac, I'm going to throw this away. If anyone wants it, just say hi. And I said, hi. Then I received the iMac without the hard drive. I say, what's wrong with it? Oh, the graphic card, it doesn't show it. Okay, I know how to fix it. And after I've disassembled the entire machine to reach the graphic card, 10 minutes later the graphic card was working. Okay, because I know what's the problem. The other one is an Apple Cinema display. It's the same LCD panel as it's present on the iMac. The problem is a little bit different, and that I'll show later. So, ROHS hazardous substances, but we used to say this return of horseshit. Okay, so you have some of these elements, so lead, mercury, cadmium, hexavalent, chromium, are products which are bad for you or bad for the environment. And this directive stated that all electronics made from 2002 onwards will not use lead anymore. Lead is used to solder things. So if you go to some place and buy solder, you can buy with lead and without lead. If you start to work in electronics and solder for yourself, please buy leaded solder, because it's much easier to work with. And the problem is very bad. Lead is bad for you, yes, we know, but it makes for better electronics. And I'll try to explain this particularly. So if you are not convinced why lead is bad, you can see episode 7 from Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos, so the second series about Cosmos. And there's a whole episode called The Clean Room, I think. It's all about the dangers of lead. And also, the hexavalent chromium is the basis for the film Erin Brockovich, starring Julia Roberts, based on a true story. Hexavalent chromium is used to lubricate water pumps, and they did a poor job of doing that, and then it entered the water stream, and then it caused everything down. If you don't know, check it out. But these problems are not exclusive from Apple. Thank God, or thank whatever they did. So the two products that I have fixed over the years were the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And here I have a funny thing. How many of you have known someone that has hacked an Xbox or a PlayStation 3 to play other games? Yeah? And you probably also heard that, oh, since I've cracked my PlayStation, it broke. Since I cracked my Xbox, it broke. But it didn't broke. You just start to use it more often. And that's the reason why this happens. So if you only have 2 games, you play only these 2 games. If you have 200 games, you'll try them all to see if they are good. And then it makes a lot, the usage scenario for that machine increases. And then puts a lot of strain. So basically anything made from 2006 onwards is a victim of this directive. So the reason for this is very simple. The old solder components were stain and lead in percentages about 60-40 or 63-37, which have a very precise melting point. So this is actually 188 degrees Celsius or 183. The new lead-free solder, it's a range, and it's a range much higher, which means that all the production processes have to be changed. And I'll say this in a slide further on, but over 10 years have passed, and the production plants are still adapting to this. Because a lot of equipment that heats and contracts, expands and contracts with heat, namely these kinds of ships, we are talking about all these balls. This is called the BGA, which is ball grid array. I don't have any idea which ship this is, but let's say it's a graphics processor of some sort. And if the whole substrate heats up and contracts, then you have the problem of the balls themselves are made of a material which is not as soft as lead was, and deals very badly with contraction and expansion. And this can be seen here. Okay? I don't know if this pointer works. Probably not. Let's see. So I'll just move out of the mic for a moment. So these are cracks, which mean that the contact from the ball to the printed circuit board or the chip has a flaw. This doesn't mean that there isn't a contact. But as the contact isn't fully made, the inherent resistance of that contact increases. And that changes things. So if you imagine let's say, I have no idea exactly what this is, but let's say this is the printed circuit board, and that's the chip. If the chip expands and contracts, it makes all of the things go one way and then the other, and with some time, this happens. All of the MacBooks that I have currently be able to repair, I've used a very simple technique. There's a component which is called a no-clean flux, which is kind of, it's not a degreaser, it's the oxidizer that helps to solder things. So I just put a lot of paste all around the chip. So all around the four places. Let's see if I can do this stuff. Okay, so I put this, remember this is soldered on the PCB, this is the other way around. I put a lot of flux in all four corners and start to hit this with a heat gun. Not a hair dryer, it's actually a heat gun made specifically for this. Okay, so don't try to do this with a very hot air gun, because that's exactly what ruins most PlayStations and Xboxes where people have tried to fix things without the flux. Because the flux will get all around these small balls and takes away the oxidization, and then you hit it a lot further and further and further and further, and this is a completely random process, so it works sometimes, it doesn't work out the other times. And then what it means, it melts slightly the balls and they re-establish contact. But what this also means is that the machines that I fixed, they can break again, because this is a temporary solution. So usually what happens is when these machines develop such problems, Apple says the machine is near the end of life, 5 years. Okay, let's think about that. How much does a MacBook cost? 2,000. 5 years, really?
3,000.
Really?
My cost 3,000.
Yeah, fuck off.
Average.
Fuck
You
off.
too.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I also have a very good PC. It's €500.
Yeah.
And it will work way past the 5 years, because I don't have other things that I will not discuss in this, because it's not a topic. But the thing is, this temporary repair will probably leave the machine 1 or 2 years more, if the machine is still usable under the current regime of operating system support and whatnot. That's beyond me. But the machine itself can be used to run other operating systems, if you want to. It doesn't mean the machine has to be for you, continue to use. You can install another operating system and give it to a kid, or a friend, or whatever. Okay? But the machine itself doesn't go to the trash. And that's the main point. Okay? We are a consume-based society. We consume, throw away, consume, throw away, consume, throw away, and no one wants to repair. That's one of the things I'm trying to explain. So this is another image that shows the expansion and contraction multiplier on this image on the right side. You can see that ball is barely hanging, okay? And it's on the end of the chip, so it means that it is really that movement. And yes, 10 years after, we are still struggling with that. And also, most NVIDIA cards still suffer from the same thing. The problem is the same. And if you move away from shit talking about Apple, NVIDIA has the same problem, because if you turn up the fan to cool the machine, it makes noise. And people like me, I don't like noise. But when I'm playing a game on my NVIDIA card, yeah, I'm playing a game. The game is loud, so I don't hear the fan. So why don't they make separate profiles that you can increase the fan rotation so that I can have the chip working longer, because it will be cooler and doesn't suffer from that. So in the end, yes, we don't put any more lead on the environment, but who is the real loser? It's us. So I I'm against the lead-based solder because of it's inside an equipment and we won't touch it. Lead was used in the lead pipes. You know, the name plumber is someone who uses PB, so it uses lead. Lead pipes were used to conduct water, to bring water to our houses, and that's why it's now forbidden. But if it's inside an equipment which you don't actually touch it, why don't leave it, keep using it? All my electronics projects, I only use lead-based solder. Because the strain that I have to put on my soldering iron to solder 20 or 30 degrees more is, well, it's not good for my equipment. And also the salt diffuse and soldering, it looks bad. It looks very dry. So let's change the subject for a little bit for something that, well, most of you or some of you may have heard of. You know what this is?
A bottle of water.
Yeah. This is high tech on wheels. If I told you that this machine has probably 15 or 15 or 20 embedded systems for whatever inside, and did you know that farmers, when they buy this kind of tractors, they have to sign an end user license agreement? They have to physically sign, not scrolling down and press I agree, like we all do, but physically sign it. You know what one of the things that they say inside? If you flash any of the subsystems with something, you're breaking the law and we're going to sue you. And this has happened. So if you go to that link from Waypoint, you can see farmer was sued for using hacked firmware on this machine. Because it's like the other things. You own it, but you can't repair it because the diagnostic software to tell you that the sensor, which is a switch or a relay or whatever, the only way that you can know which sensor is not working is calling the service guy that has to go 300 or 400 kilometers or miles or wherever to where the tractor is, because you don't take it to engineers, and that costs money. So actually the farmers are really held ransom to their own equipment, and this is now happening. Farmers are using hacked firmware from Ukraine and other Soviet states to be able to connect a plug to the machine like we do with our cars. Our cars have the onboard diagnostics OBD2, and you can know that there's a problem, there is not a problem. Okay, it's all you can see. But that was also a directive, and the tractors are exempt of that. Guess what? Guess why? Okay, so, and then there's the other thing. John Deere, in this example, has cloud-based software. This is from an article. This is an article saying this is good for the farmers because you can farm and sow and then collect all the things in the centimeter range. So this actually steers the tractor so that it can reach the maximum yield. But it also does another thing, which is send what you were sowing, how much did it grow, how good was the yield, and they sell this information to Monsanto, for example. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Weren't they sued for this?
Sorry?
John Deere was sued for this because they're selling, because
They're selling the information with knowledge of the farmer. Farmer has to say, okay, I'm okay with you sending that. Okay?
in Israel they're not allowed to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Some countries took that clause out of John Deere's contract as illegal.
Yeah, I know.
But not in the States.
This is
Not in the States.
yeah, but this is relevant. This is relevant, and I'll get to the point. So, why do we care? Why should we care if all of this happens in John Deere and United States of America in so far away? No, sorry. If this stays on, Then they'll apply the same things to cars in America, and then they get exported to Europe and to Japan and Asia and everywhere else. And these decisions, they have the, I don't know the correct juridical term.
Precedence?
Yeah, precedence. Takes precedence and then it becomes law. So that's one of the things that we are really trying to
Prevent.
Yeah, prevent, yeah, thanks. And so, now for a lighter tone, not all is lost. There are still some good manufacturers which make good, expensive products, yes, very high tech, but they are fully and completely repaired. And you might be surprised. Any one of you knows these two brands?
Not really, no.
No, not really. Okay, so, yeah, sorry. If you want to take a picture, so. So, Bamix is a Swiss blender maker. And the funny thing is, you can buy each and every part that's inside any of the blenders they made. It's an O-ring, it's a screw, it's a plastic cap. You can buy anything from them because unlike other manufacturers, they really care about the products. To give you an idea, you can buy such a blender in the supermarket and it costs you 20 euros, 25 euros. This costs 190. So that's a slight difference. But the thing is, you say, oh yeah, but I'll buy the 20 and when it breaks and just throw away and buy another with 20 and I'll still have money to buy. Yeah, and what about the garbage that you're making? Doesn't matter for your kids, for your grandkids? It's, yeah, I won't buy one of these because it's too expensive. But I'll try to fix mine when they grow. Okay, I'll try, at least try. And there's another. Yeah?
Actually, isn't the technology in those $20 appliances relatively simple to fix?
No.
Really?
I have a toothbrush that I bought for my granddaughter from Disney something, whatever, the one rechargeable, and it is not repairable.
Yes,
But the problem is because it was out of warranty and I didn't have to deal with Amazon for that, so I just hacked it apart, and guess what? It was a bad solder. And it stopped working again. It's not usable because it's no longer waterproof. It was a bad solder on the battery.
But I'm actually speaking about larger appliances. Isn't the hardware some kind of rough enough to be fixed by
And one of the things I usually say is if someone made it, someone can fix it. Well, sort of. So it is not completely true, but most of the things you can fix it. And the next supplier, this is Bamix, and this is Dualit. Dualit is a toaster maker from the United Kingdom. And although I'm not sure if they sell you parts, you can take this apart with a simple screwdriver. Okay. And these are also expensive. I don't know exactly how much this costs, but you can see it about
250.
250. Yeah. They are good and they last, and you can repair it, or at least you can see what you can do with it. And as I said, Amex will sell you parts and the other ones are repairable. Contrary to this, you might have seen.
It's not just a question of getting the parts.
Sorry?
It's not just a question of getting the parts, it's for how long will you get the parts as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just have a
Oh, it's legacy.
supplier
Now you don't get it
yeah.
anymore.
You got a
These-
supplier
these-
that
yeah.
will get
These
the
two
parts now
manufacturers-
for so long.
These two manufacturers are known exactly for supporting the first thing they made 25 years ago. They still have parts. Because unlike others, they say, no, this is better. No, this is not better. This is just the same thing as before with different parts. So that you can say it's better. Okay? Except that though, so the O-rings are the same, the sealers are the same, the screws are the same, the plastic may change, but if you sell the plastic, it's the same thing. And then I saw this on my Twitter feed some time ago. I don't know exactly how it was. It was February, yeah, it's down below. And so this is a $75, 75-pound toaster made by Bosch. Okay, so relatively known brand, that it stopped working, and it was that thing. It's a Zener dial that costs 9p. This is about 10, 20, 20 cents of euro. But the problem is, this thing was assembled with security screws. And well, and also, yes, the things.
One big safety.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Not on the toaster, please. Not on the toaster. Just the stupidest things you can do is put a security screw on the toaster. Okay. And these things are made just, I think it was the plastic connections and hinges that you can snap it in and then put 4 screws. That's it. So you take the 4 screws and you can't open it because you have to price things about. That's the design build features as this guy says. And well, I'll let you read this. Kind of pointless, isn't it? So the toaster, it heats. The elements have electricity. Why can't I open it? I can stick my fingers in there and make sausages. So,
Throw some water in it.
yeah, well, that. And now I have a very, very small pop quiz because we are nearly halfway. It's a pop quiz. How many? I will show you a picture of screw heads. Try to think on how many have you seen and have the tools to operate them.
I have a kid with more than 2.
Yes, I was going to say, I have a kid.
So
No. If you actually saw that screw in the wild, in an equipment that you have to take it apart.
okay.
Yeah, probably. After that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fairly good. That's fairly good.
I don't have the Empire shaped one. The Star Wars Empire shaped
Yeah.
one. I don't have that.
The torque set.
No,
Yeah.
the Bristol.
This.
No, the Bristol.
Below.
Oh, Bristol. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
But it's very much utopia.
Yeah. If you notice, there are 2 which are relevant to this, and this one are these 2. You can find this one, the driving on most Nintendo consoles, and this on most cheap Chinese equipment. If you just look at the shape, and everyone is right-handed, well, not everyone I know, but most of the people are right-handed and you twist to screw. So these were designed to be screwed in and not screwed out. Okay? And some of these screws, the driving, have a sort of a ramp. If you try to unscrew it, the screwdriver fails. And then you have to use a drill. I have used it more than once. Well, no, on all of them, but yeah. Rust has another problem on this. But yeah, I think half of you, I've seen all of these, most of these, not this one. Yes, if you have an Apple device of any type, you'll have this. This is one of the most hated things. I know, and if you buy a battery from iFixit, which I'm not happy to buy it, they send you a kit containing a screwdriver to take this screw and Phillips screws to replace them. and this is the fun thing, if you ever take that phone to Apple, they will remove the Phillips and put this one back in. And that's by design because they are fucked out. So. Also, this one, the spanner head, is also very, very common on house appliances. I have a toaster that had those.
And the one-way coffee machines.
And the one, yeah, and there are some screws from the oldest Nespresso machines, which is an oval, and the only way you can remove that is getting an aluminium tube. You bend it to shape, and then you insert it on the machine. And try gently to remove it, and then put the screw, a Phillips screw, because well, no one cares. Now, about these, the last slides were the ones that I didn't have really time to say everything that I had to say. But the topic is legislation. What is being done? Well, apparently, not much that favors us consumers, but the lobbying groups are favoring trying to introduce artificial ways to say, no, no, we have a very nice shop that can fix your phone. Your phone, we can fix it for you. You'll just have to pay whatever money we ask you to. So bring it, and it doesn't void the warranty. It even extends warranty. Yeah, but we don't have that in Portugal. We have some premium resellers and service centers, but we don't have the real thing, and that's bad. Fortunately, from a research, the small research they have conducted, I think that Europe is really pushing towards the right to repair resolution. So this website claims that Portugal is for protecting consumers, and Italy, United Kingdom, well, I don't know if it counts yet. Does it count yet? Okay. And Germany. And the most problem here is really Germany. And yeah, Germany is the biggest problem. Italy, well, it doesn't matter. So more pizzas, less pizzas, more pasta, less pasta. But Germany has a very nice.
Well, they have a lot of factories as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're trying to protect everything. Yeah.
Well, we don't have factories anymore, so we don't have much to protect. That's
Yeah.
We've got politics.
Yeah.
Well,
A lot of politics.
well,
Yeah.
Germany took our factories, so.
Yeah. And in that extent, everything that you try to repair for you, think, in Portugal, 5 years ago, if you have a, let's say a Renault, you could only go to a Renault service center.
Yeah.
Now you can go wherever you want, as long as they have agreements to take that. The United States is not quite there yet. They are trying to, that's the next slide, they're trying to, but they are not yet. So, the thing they are trying to do is, okay, if you have a car service station, you have to have your mechanics and technicians trained by us, and you must buy parts by us because we will sell you parts. Then you can do it. But that doesn't mean that you can go there as a customer saying, I want to buy 10 liters of oil, I want to have brake pads, I want to have a clutch. They would say, oh, you're not trained, you can't do it because it's not safe for you.
Yeah.
Well, I have an opinion, I won't tell you that here because I have done it, and my cars are still running. Well, the other ones.
Please, do you feel that Matt, you showed up, do you feel that that's solid and also some kind of a cultural thing on the negative side because we are a country so poor, we use MacGyvering so much to solve problems, to solve things.
This map was the place where I got this information was a guy that talks to all representatives from all countries, so actual politicians. And they say, are you for or against?
MEPs?
Yeah, MEPs, yeah.
We have
So that's based on that,
Holland, they're not poor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they
if
have
you
a different culture.
But if you think this is about repair, it's not really what it says. Eco-design requirements and resource efficiency. What the is that?
Yeah.
Okay? It means that if you repair things, then you won't throw things away, so that's good for the environment. And that politicians like to say things in words they only understand. And they make referendums that people say yes when they actually should have no.
And they vote for
And vote for things that they don't really understand.
Yes.
Yeah. In Portugal, this is completely off topic. In Portugal, we voted against the things for abortion because no one understood the question. In United Kingdom, they voted for Brexit. We don't understand exactly the question. So this is a politics thing that really twists the words and meanings so the way that they really wanted to. Okay, so this doesn't really affect us directly, but for all the 50 United States of America, these ones have already introduced right to repair bills, much to the chagrin for all manufacturers. And yes, you have some let's say Montana is a farming state, Minnesota, not really sure. No, it's not a farming state. Yeah, at least Montana is a farming state. So they are trying to support people because people say, no, I have to be able to repair this on my own, as I have done to all my tractors all my life. So now I buy a high-tech tractor or a medium-sized tractor that I can no longer repair it.
Washington is a lumber state. They use that machinery to.
But Washington is Seattle. It's not
Yes,
DC.
Washington State, yes,
Yeah.
it's a lumber state. They
Yeah.
use a lot of heavy machinery to cut trees.
And also, now this is the latest thing. California is not there yet. They have pushed the bill to be signed somewhere in the next 2 months or something. And this text explains exactly what they think. So they want to be able to, they want you to be able to repair your iPhone, your Samsung, or your whatever device on an authorized supplier, so that they don't get thrown in the trash. And yeah, it's a
The
bit crazy.
text actually stipulates only a very specific set of support engineers. You can repair it yourself.
This is a step towards that.
It's
Of course, you can go to a shop and say, how much can you sell me that screen? And they say, the screen I sell you for $90 with service, or $100 without service. What do you choose? With service. Because if you think about it, all of those equipments that I've repaired, I took hundreds of hours repairing them. And the companies can no longer do that. If you think in Portugal, which are fairly poor country, they can charge you something like 40 euros per hour for a technician. And if the technician takes 10 hours to repair something, well, it costs a lot more than whatever the equipment is worth. Okay? If you as a user, if you do that, well, it's your own time and it's your equipment. So, yeah, it may not be a nice thing to do in a company, but we'll get there. I'm confident that we'll get there. And so, even about legislation, never forget the power that those companies have. Lobbying power is a very, very nasty thing. And in Portugal we have had that. In other subjects, it's like the thing that's not really connected to right to repair, but may affect us. You've seen the PL 118 some years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't know about it, it's
Yeah.
everything that has a memory. Either it's a chip on a hard drive, you pay a tax
Yeah.
because you may
Use it.
store it, yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
money.
use it.
Yeah. So,
Piracy.
but the main objective is really to sell you new things.
Yeah.
You must have the latest thing. There's a new iPad. You know about it? A mini? Yeah. It's a new one. Go buy it. Go buy it. And well, they say.
The ACTA. The ACTA law.
And they say they have some sort of recycling program that they do tradings and then they trash the old thing. They don't recycle it per se. They just trash it and destroy it, and it gets separated and all these elements of it. Yeah. Okay.
And goes to China. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Africa.
Yeah.
Some place else. And now for something completely different, let's see some hardware. So. This is what was wrong with that Apple 27-inch cinema display. It's a plug, this white plug over here, should be soldered inside there, and it's where the backlight connection goes in. So the screen has 6 LED strips, connection in 3 sets of series, and if any of them stops working, the whole screen loses backlight. And the only thing you can do is do this kind of MacGyver thing. This is actually working. It's now my main monitor. Thanks, Celso. It was Celso Martinez's old LCD. It stopped working. He said, well, this is broken. Anyone want to try to fix it? I said, yeah. So now my main monitor. quite a good monitor, except the glare is very reflective. So, to give you a perspective, this is a very hard picture that I took with my phone. This is about 1 centimeter wide, and it's about 9 millimeters low, and that's where the connection points are, down below here. Okay, and these are cables from, if you remember the floppy drives, those flat cables, this is one of those cables. Then what I did, I soldered the connection on a separate place of the monitor, and then routed the wires. And yeah, screw you then. It's working. It still doesn't have the front bezel, so you can see. No screws, but it was working. And I'm happy. Okay. So the other thing, this is a main board for a MacBook Pro, the same one that you saw earlier on the talk. And this is an i5 or an i7, I don't know exactly. This is the main processor down below. And up there it's an NVIDIA graphics card. Okay? So everything went to the process that I explained with the flux and the heat gun and the sector. And then I did this on my garage. Then I went back home, to my house, plug every every 27 cables and things, press power, and yeah, it's working. And I took the picture and sent my friend, oh, does your login screen look like this? And then Nuno is one of my friends from OZ Labs. You may have known this from previous incarnation. And Celia said, wow, I have a new PC. And as far as I know, the PC is still working. And this was about 3 months ago. So warranty has already expired. And yeah. And another thing, my washing machine, which is about 14 years old, which we bought when we moved into this new house. And then my wife said, well, when the machine starts the spin cycle, the circuit breaker goes down. You say, oh, really? Yeah, and the machine stops, and then I connect it again, and I try to send and it stops again. So it turns out it was the brushes. This is a brushed motor, so you know it's some sticks of carbon that used to be about 5 centimeters when new, and mines were about 1 centimeter or less. And the problem is all the carbon that went out of the brushes went short circuit. So when it's spin to the highest speed, made a short circuit, then the circuit breaker went down.
For the washing machine,
It's a clothes washing machine.
There are some other arguments that will make you not to fix it, because the washing machine with 10 years old, it will
It's dirty.
and it gets a lot of power to.
Yeah,
to
but
run
I
it,
can
so
tell you one thing.
there are things that in 10
do you-
years change a lot.
Does anyone remember when the first Continent supermarket opened in Amadora? Do you remember?
I was a little kid, but I remember.
No, you're not. So we have bought a refrigerator from Continent all those years ago. It was about in the first month that they opened, and we changed that refrigerator 3 months ago. Why? Well, we needed a one with more space. The refrigerator was perfectly working. And see how many years it was?
And the
Yeah,
bill-
but what
and
about
the bill at the end of the month
electric
is
bill?
something.
Electricity
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I give you
That
that.
makes a
Yes.
difference.
But it has 2 compressors, and the new one only has 1, and has some strange cycles, and yes.
Yeah.
But that's not the main reason.
No,
If
he's
it is
lobbying.
working, it was working.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's lobbying for the next one, which is a lot more efficient,
Yeah.
would allow the repair on it, right?
And the new one
That's
is
the-
probably not repairable, and the old one was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I look at the picture at the left. That's the motor completely disassembled and after being cleaned. And you know how do I know this picture was taken after? Look at the brush.
Yeah.
There's a brush. It's a black thing here.
Yeah.
It's completely black. This used to be yellowish. yellowish green beige. And this was after. Then I assembled everything and say, well, I just send a message to my friends, oh yeah, I got the motor working. And then Fernando Fossen say, okay, now you need to change the dampers because the other one is losing oil. And say, what damper? And so, some weeks later or some months later, I changed it. This was the most difficult thing to change because this washing machine is not made for you to change the damper because it's a pin. It's part of the front side of the thing that holds the water and goes through a hole, which is on the other part. And then when they clamp the two parts together, which have a lot of springs and a lot of screws, they insert the two dampers. So the only chance that I have is to use a hacksaw, and hack this and well say a lot of curse words, and then remove everything. And then after removing everything, say, oh, it's not a pin. It's part of the thing. So the black thing that you see here, let me try to point this out to do it better. So this is the damper, which is screwed here and here, has a pin. And this black pin is the thing that holds the top side, which is the pin that is white. It was previously white. I think you can see it. Probably, yeah. That white thing is not an inserted pin, it's part of this plastic. Okay? And then I saw a lot of YouTube videos, yes, everything else is on the internet. And they say, no, now you have to drill a hole. I said, drill a hole in the thing that holds water? This can't be good. I warned my wife and she said, well, you're trying to fix it. Yeah, so do your best. And I did. And it worked. I have to use 3 drill sizes, 1 conical shape, because now it's working. Okay. I don't know for how long. Machine no longer on the spin cycle no longer comes to visit us on the living room. It stays put. So, and this machine the pictures were taken on the machine just tumbled the side, because this machine is serviceable from the bottom, not from the rear. The only thing you can do on the rear is change the belt. So everything is serviceable from yeah. But it's a whole story. This black rubber tube you can see, you have to remove it. Water will come out. There's electrical contacts here, so you might unplug it from the water and close the tap and do all sorts of things. And then this is the thing that I have to show you, because the next part is electronics equipment for music, synthesizers, and this ADA is ADC deck thing for music, which from everything that Behringer does, they use crappy transformers, so they break. You buy new ones, and everything starts working again. The Gord Volca keys was victim of a sugary beverage, which I shall not name, and I have to disassemble everything, take out all the potentiometers, wash it with ammonium, and then dry it on the hot oven so that everything goes away, and then assemble everything, and it's working. And I got that for free. So, hey, you fix it? Yeah, no, you can have it. And the problem was the output chip was not working. And there's a lot of other things that can be fixed. So blown capacity, change the capacity, or it starts working again. Display backlight. I have pictures for everything. I didn't put in because it would make everything longer and longer and longer. And so this is the takeaway, not the food type, but the things that what can you do about it? Well, let me say this. You can start by choosing what you buy. If you really need a MacBook to do your work, Yes, buy a MacBook. I'm not saying you to buy anything else. Buy it. But be aware, it will probably have problems in the future. You'll be screwed. But that's your choice. I'm not complaining about your choice. Okay? The thing that pisses me more is that LCD monitor that you see, the LED cinema display, is a known issue from those types of panels made by LG, and Apple refuses to acknowledge the problem. Yeah, and that's the problem. I got them for free, so I'm not complaining. Okay, got it for free, I fix it, then I can sell it or keep it, that's my choice. But I won't also say that I will never buy an Apple product. Yes, I have bought an iPad for my wife. And why did I didn't buy an Android tablet? Because I know this iPad will last me for 6 or 7 years if it doesn't fall on the floor and breaks the screen or anything else. It's my choice. I made this, when I looked at all the tablets that were on the market, I didn't exclude the iPad because I'm not completely stupid and I like my wife, okay? So, but if any of you ask me, should I buy an iPad, it's your choice. Don't ask me that, please, okay? So, as you know, in Portugal, politicians are what they are. Yeah, you can see that. We have seen this DL 118 in the past. So this is kinds of decisions that they don't really speak about right repair, but they can influence you after that. And yeah, but we have to choose now our representatives for Europe. Ask them how they are going to vote on those articles they are trying to screw our internet. And if they vote for, then you say bye. Okay? This is just an example. So if they are willing to vote against something that decides something that's not in favor of the customer, then they won't vote also for other things. And also, if you like to unscrew things and try stuff, in Lisbon you have several groups. I know some of them. I'm a friend of Alt Lab and members of Lisbon. And I know there are several Fab Labs. They used to be only 2, but now they have multiplied. There are some here also. I don't know if you have seen the Fab Lab. It's behind this stage here when you go to the toilet. If you go up and then you go down, there's a Fab Lab with a CNC router, several 3D printers to make things for projects. Yeah, yeah. You go around, you go up, you go down. Yeah, it's a puzzle. They are here. And also, there's another funny thing which I only joke about where they say this because people. But that's a movement called Café Concerto, which is not a concert. It's a big thing. And they organize themselves around Portugal. And they say, we're going to meet in Évora for these days, then you can take your stuff there. And they'll try to fix it. Okay? This is one of the movements that I only joke about Facebook thing. It's all my only complaint. But anything else, yeah, I have no problem with this. So, don't take problem for an answer. I have stickers if you want to. I have more stickers than the other ones that I've sent. You can open and pass it on. And I fix it for all the swag they send us and all the hard work they make in producing all of the repair guides and the tear down instructions. I have even chosen my phone based on the repairability score, which is not good, by the way. Yeah, I've made my choice. Yeah, and I went and see how can I take this apart. If you don't know, if you can see, my screen is broken on the top left of your point of view, and I'm not planning to fix it because it works. It's just a minor scratch. And if you turn it on, you barely even notice. So yeah, that's it.